This is old Schwinn with a skip tooth crank on it, and it's got an old Tanaka, I don't know if I'm saying that right, a Japanese-made two-stroke friction drive motor on the front. Kind of cool. It's been sitting in an old warehouse for a long time. Another company bought that warehouse to convert it into an auto body shop, and they said all 200 bikes had to be cleared out of there, so helping with that. It's got, you might recognize the seat, or sorry, this gas tank. It's got an old Rupp gas tank on it. I tried getting the cap off. It's pretty well on there, so I'm gonna have to get that off carefully. I don't know what the inside looks like. The cantilever steel frame, it's an old Schwinn. I was gonna pull up the, haven't looked up to see what year it is yet. You can see there's a lot of rust. I believe that's a Bendix rear hub, but number on it is serial number V92034. I don't know if you can really make that out. I'm using a different camera today. Just look at that, lots and lots of rust. So, and then the friction drive motor, you know, it's a little two-stroke. You can see it's got a small carburetor here. I don't know the exact displacement, but it's got to be pretty small. It's like a weed eater engine, basically. So, you know, and then it's got a flexible pipe that leads down to the exhaust. So pretty simple, just bolts onto the front forks there. You know, and you can drop that to engage or disengage so that you could pedal it, you know. So you can see the crank arms are a little bit different. We've got the kind of offset, at least on this side, so maybe it's not the original pedal crank arm on the other side. See a little bit of the original paint coming through. So when I saw this thing, it just reminded me of, you know, like an old school, some I'm sure teenager put this together back in the day, probably in the 80s or whatever. I'll probably be selling the tank and the engine separate from the bike, but if you're interested in the tank, the engine, or the bike, or the whole thing, shoot me an email at rustbeltcycleparts@gmail.com. Pick up outside Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Thanks.